UMass on 3, 1, 2, 3, UMass, UMass, rock!
One match is all that stands between these two teams and the 2017 Little East Conference Tournament Championship. This afternoon, a rematch of the October 18th battle right here from Clark Athletic Center as the UMass Boston Beacons, the #1 seed in the tournament, take on the Keene State Owls right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris, the subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown, and it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Pleasure to have you with us. I'm John Skudris. Today, the 2017 Little East Conference Tournament Championship as the UMass Boston Beacons play host to their rivals from Keene, New Hampshire, the Owls of Keene State. Keene State is coming in, having lost just last month to the Beacons right here. 3-1 the final in 4 sets as Eileen Shee led the way with a multitude of kills, which she will look to mimic this afternoon. The Beacons, meanwhile, are looking to win their 8th tournament championship in the last 9 years. Keene State looking to win their first since they beat the Beacons right here in 2008. Let's take a look at our players to watch for both teams, beginning first with Rachel Maslak. And Rachel on the campaign has been outstanding, going from a bit of a bit player a year ago to one of the biggest reasons the Beacons are here today. Rachel is top 5 on the team in kills, hitting, assists, digs, and blocks. And she's first in her first match, against Keene State, 23 assists, 7 digs, 8 kills, and 2 blocks. It's a matchup of Rachel's as we transition to Keene State superstar Rachel Lamica, as she is our player to watch for the Owls. Lamica on the campaign leads the LEC with 4.66 kills percent. She's second in kills and second in hitting percentage. And in the first match against the Beacons, she had 16 kills, but it was just 16% in hitting after starting out the match over 50% before she was silenced by the Beacons' big blockers. The all-time series matchup between these two foes, well, as you expected, it's been topsy-turvy back and forth. UMass Boston has won 16 of the 28 overall matchups, with the Beacons having won, get this, 14 in a row. They have outscored the Owls 42-8 over that time frame. And in their last meeting, as I mentioned, Eileen Shee, 22 kills, 12 digs, en route to a 3-1 Beacons victory. So UMass Boston and Mike Houlihan, the head coach, will look to mimic that performance this afternoon as they hope to earn the Little East Conference's automatic bid into the 2017 NCAA Volleyball Tournament. We're going to go to a quick break here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network's pregame show. When we come back, we will have the remainder of the pregame looking at team stats, overall leaders, and more on this matchup between UMass Boston and Keene State. It's the 2017 Little East Conference Championship Tournament right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was tough because we have a lot of players that don't have a ton of experience at this type of level, and they really just had to work hard to get that nerves out, to get that first game jitters out. And the good thing from last night, I mean, I don't think we necessarily played extremely well, but what we did is we fought for every point and we battled for every point. And regardless of how it looked, we had that battle, and that battle is going to come in clutch tomorrow. And if we can battle with Keene because they're a good team, then it's going to become worth it that we had that fight that we did with Plymouth. Yeah, I mean, they have. They've had some of these in the past. Obviously, they had the opportunity, especially Eileen, to play in a lot of these matches. But she's never had to do it at the level that she had to do it last night, and she never had to do it and have to have 20 kills. I mean, she's always been a good option for us, but there's been a lot of big options as well. And we have some good options on this team, but those second and third options, this was their first time to have this moment. And Eileen did a great job. Early on in the match, I think she was hitting 8 kills with 6 errors, and she really struggled early on. But once she found her footing in set 3 and 4, she finished the match with 20 kills and 6 errors. So she really turned it on, and I think that was huge for us. And I think it's going to carry over to tomorrow. I don't think so. I think we just have to keep doing what we're doing. I think, yeah, on paper, Keene State and UMass Boston, we have a some great matches in the past. We've seen each other a ton, but these two teams really have only seen each other once. These two specific teams have only had one opportunity to play each other, and I think that's how we got to take it. We're taking it that these are two completely different teams, and regardless of who we're seeing, it's the LEC championship. We're going to have to battle in order to win, and I think that's the one thing that we have to kind of take from this regular season is that nothing is obviously ever given to you. We have to battle for everything, and if we don't come to battle tomorrow, then Keene State's going to have a good day. Keene didn't come up here, and they didn't play their best match on a weekday. They had to drive up, and for us, we're expecting obviously a much better, much more on-point Keene State. But, I mean, we did. We had some opportunity to go through that film and look at some individual matchups, look at some things and key points that we're going to try to emphasize, as well as what we expect them to emphasize. And I think that first matchup was just kind of a preview to what this could be in terms of a match, and I think it's going to be a very strong match. I know as a coach, Bob does a great job in making some adjustments. I'm sure he's going to come up with something that we're not ready for. So if we can adjust quickly and try to take advantage of those things, then I think we could do well. Otherwise, I think, like I said, it's just going to come down to a battle and who wants it more in the end. Yeah, I mean, obviously their offense is so strong because of Rachel, but I think the big thing is with their setter is we just have to be ready. She's not going to be able to beat us single-handedly. We know that it's just kind of a key to her game is to try to keep us off our toes, and I think we're going to be able to do well by just matching up and figuring out where our hitters are and adjust our block and our defense to adjust for those type of plays. But the big thing I think is that she does a great job distributing the ball to her big hitters, and I think that's really the big part that she has that we're really worried about is how well she distributes her ball to her hitters, because she's been doing it very well this year.
Welcome back into the Beacons Broadcasting Network. I am John Scudris, getting you set for the opening serve of the 2017 Little East Conference Tournament Championship right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. From high atop Clark Athletic Center, we are excited to bring you an opportunity for the Beacons to win to get a trip to the NCAA tournament and win the Little East Conference for the 8th time in the last 9 years. Let's take a look at the statistical outlook on the campaign for both of these squads. And as you look at the records, a 10-game better win margin for Keene State, all of that in non-conference play. You look at the Beacons there, though, they match up pretty well with the Owls. Keene State a little bit better in kills and hitting percentage, as well as assists, digs. Beacons better in blocks, and the Owls rounding it out with the marginal statistical advantage in aces. So on paper, statistically at least, Keene State the more statistical favorite in this matchup. However, with the way level of competition works, non-conference foes, and Keene State, the fact they started 15-0, it's really as close as it can be with regards to these two LEC battles. Now, meanwhile, let's take a look at the team leaders individually. And you look, Eileen Shee, she was mentioned momentarily by me in the opening blurb, and she has been outstanding. The San Francisco, California native has been golden for Mike Houlihan and UMass Boston. Likewise, they've gotten tremendous performances out of sophomore, also California native Sarah Doyle, who leads the team in hitting percentage. Rachel Maslach leads in assists. Macayla Kianko, she had a big role and a lot of shoes to fill with taking over the libero role from Elizabeth Glavin this year, and she has stepped up with flying colors, 549 digs to lead the team. And then, of course, you see Kianko and Doyle also contributing in other facets of the game. For the Owls, Rachel Lanica, she's our player to watch, and she's been outstanding. In the first half of the October 18th matchup, she terrorized UMass Boston until the Beacons were able to get it going, thanks in large part to the defense of 6-foot sophomore Amelia Shepieska, who came in and was able to neutralize Lamica's abilities with regards to kills, and the Beacons took it the rest of the way en route to a 3-1 victory on October the 18th. The head coach for Keene State, Bob Weiner. And what a career it's been for Bob. You see him there in his 13th season. He's led Keene State to 7 LEC title matches. However, they are just 1-5 with that only win coming against these Beacons back in 08. His record, 283 and 167, 524 career wins overall. He is one of the best in the region, and there is no reason to suggest he won't have his team ready to go this afternoon. For UMass Boston's head coach, Michael Houlihan, he's spending his first year as the lone head coach. Of course, Terry Condon was the associate head coach with him for many, many years. She's led the Beacons to so many titles over the last decade. In his 5th season on Beaconville, Mike Houlihan is looking for, you'll see it there, win number 100 this afternoon, coming in 99 and 63. His overall record, 216 victories for UMass Boston. So Houlihan and company are looking to take it from Weiner and the Owls this afternoon as both of these squads line up for a chance at an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. For all intents and purposes, the winner of this season goes on. The loser heads home for good. Let's take a look now at the starters, beginning with Keene State. As we look at the Owl starters, Neve Dodd, a junior from Mahopac, New York, is starting at mid hitter. Meanwhile, Riley Bunker is a libero. She's out of Simi Valley, California, also a junior. Rachel Lamica is a senior from Malone, New York. She is an outside hitter. Bailey Wilson is the setter, number 16 in red. She is a freshman out of Moore Park, California. Olivia Matthew is the outside hitter. She's from Derry, New Hampshire, a sophomore. Jennifer Severino, also a sophomore from Galloway, New Jersey. And bringing up the rear, the mid hitter, Kate West, sophomore from Hopkinton, Massachusetts, the only Massachusetts native on this Keene State roster. For the UMass Boston Beacons, well, we'll let the starters introduce themselves right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Hi, I'm Alex Gibbs, a senior hitter, and I'm from Barracks Ranch, Texas.
Hi, I'm Rachel Maslak, and I'm a junior setter from Berlin Center, Ohio.
Hi, I'm Amelia Chepievska. I'm a sophomore outside hitter from St. Paul, Minnesota.
Hi, I'm Eileen Shee. I'm a junior outside hitter from San Francisco, California.
Hi, I'm Ariana Casengol, and I'm a sophomore middle from Melbourne, Florida.
I'm Macayla Kianco. I'm a senior libero from Clearwater, Florida.
Hi, I'm Sarah Doyle, a sophomore middle hitter from Glendale, California.
Those are your Beacon starters. We are about 60 seconds away from the opening service of the 2017 Little East Conference Tournament Championship between Keene State and your UMass Boston Beacons. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we will have that opening service and all the action right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
We are just about 30 seconds away. We're going to do the national anthem here on the pregame show. But first, let's take a look at the keys to the match between UMass Boston and Keene State. You see right there, limiting the mistakes will be key for the Beacons, especially early. Shepieska versus Lamica, what a matchup that was last time out on October 18th. And controlling the middle. It's often no man's land in D3 volleyball. We'll see if the Beacons can hold their positions and then hold the trophy high above their heads once this one comes to a conclusion. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, the opening service of the 2017 Little East Conference Championship right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
We are all set for the start of this one as both teams have stood for the national anthem. They shake hands prior to this, the 2017 Little East Conference Tournament Championship. So happy to have you with us here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. I'm John Skudris, and UMass Boston looking to capture their 8th tournament title in the last 9 years, and with it advance to the NCAA tournament for the 8th time in the last 9 years. Meanwhile, Keene State looking to get back to the tournament through an LEC tournament championship for the first time since they did it against the Beacons and former head coach Terry Condon, back in 2008. Amazing how long ago that was, 9 years now. Most of the players on the Beacons were in either elementary school or in junior high. And now here they are, the Keene State Owls, looking to shock the Beacons after losing to them 3-1 just 1 month ago. UMass starting their customary starting 7. Gibbs, Maslak, Shepieska, Shi, Kasingal, Kienko, the libero, and Sarah Doyle, the 6'2" Glendale native, up front. Meanwhile, for the Owls, Neve Dodd, Riley Bunker, Rachel Lamica, Bailey Wilson, Olivia Matthew, Jennifer Severino, and Kate West. We're all set now as Olivia Matthew, the outside hitter from Derry, New Hampshire, gets us underway and begins with a service error. As just like that, UMass Boston gets the advantage early. That's not what you're looking for if you're head coach Bob Weiner in his 13th campaign. Here's Eileen Shee. She led the team in errors from the service area this campaign. Gets that one over. A chance for a nice spike. Good block in front on a play made there by Shepieska. And Maslak customarily sets up Shepieska. And UMass Boston delivers the first blow as they are now up 2-0 early here in the 2017 LEC Tournament Championship. She continues to show her talents, but that one is a service error, so the UMass Boston will surrender their first point of the day to the visitors from Keene, New Hampshire. Keene State, an enrollment of 4,500 compared to 17,500 for the Beacons, as Riley Bunker, the junior libero from Simi Valley, California, serves that one up. And a good block in front, a play made by Rachel Lamica to even this one up at 2. Keep an eye on Lamica, number 4 in red. She lines up front opposite of Amelia Shepieska, the sophomore from St. Paul, and a transfer from South Dakota State University. Digging that one out, the libero, Macayla Kianko. And there's a spike on the far side from Gibbs, and she delivers for UMass Boston as the Beacons retake the lead early. Macayla Kianko to deliver the service here. We talked about her in the pregame, what huge shoes she had to fill. She played rather sparingly in 2016-17 behind Elizabeth Glavin, if not the best, one of the best liberos and defensive players in program history. As unable to get that one over is Lamica, and UMass Boston extends their lead to 2. Glavin moved on, having graduated and setting so many records in UMass Boston. She was replaced by the Clearwater, Florida native, the senior Kienko, who in her senior year has really stepped up, and it continues here into the LEC championship as she delivers again. And UMass Boston has a 3-point lead, 5-2. Folks, after the game, we'll meet with the most outstanding player of this tournament as well as the winning head coach, talk to them about their next steps and how it all came together. Lamica, beautiful spike, and Rachel Lamica, who has done so much damage to opposing teams all season long. Rachel, in fact, had 452 kills for the Owls this year. That was more than 260 kills more than anybody else on the roster. Here's Lamica looking for 2 for the price of 1, dug out by Shi. Maslak, far side for Gibbs. Gibbs gets that one down on a nice spike, but it's dug out there, and a good play by Bunker. Back and forth they go. A nice block by the Beacons, and then that was a tough play for Rachel Maslak. She can't get it done, as that one is a kill for number 16, Bailey Wilson, the freshman setter from Moorpark, California, and she will get back into the service area to deliver. 6-3 Beacons early in set 1. Dug out by Eileen Shee. Maslak sets up Gibbs. Beautiful deceptive move, but I think that one did come out of bounds. And it is indeed an error there for UMass Boston. So 6-4. Lead trimmed down to 2. And resuming her duties, Bailey Wilson from the service area. Dug out by Gibbs. Wilson right back from whence it came. It's the libero, Kienko to Maslak. Third strike, and that one is dug out on a beautiful play made by Matthew. Gibbs for Maslak. She sets up a spike attempt and a good dig, and that's 3 touches, and you are out, folks. As a beautiful kill there for UMass Boston's Sarah Doyle, the sophomore from Glendale, California, as the Beacons extend their lead to 3. And now Amelia Shepieska will step into the service area. Shepieska, not able to get that one over the net. That's not her strength. Everyone has to do it, but her strength is definitely defense up front. As she will take a seat for the moment, replaced out there by Carson Kaminsk, freshman from Westerville, Ohio. And there's an error on the service there by Rachel Lamica, one of the best offensively up close for these visiting Owls. But the outside hitter couldn't get that one in, and it's 8-5. Alex Gibbs for her first service today. Dug out there by Bunker. And the spike is a little bit too much mustard on it from number 15, Kelly Hunt. Didn't mention her coming in. Kelly, a sophomore from Milford, just stepped into the game moments ago. She replaced Neve Dodd, who took a seat. Dug out there by Bunker. And a nice setup there, but an even better block for UMass Boston as the tree up front. Who else but Sarah Doyle? 6 foot 2 inches of pure volleyball power, and she delivered it there as Gibbs serves this one over. Dug out by Bunker, setting up a chance for a spike from Hunt, and Kelly is clear on that one. As she delivers the kill, it's 10-6. And a substitution as Bunker will take a seat for the Owls, replaced out there by Sydney Morgan. Sydney, a freshman from Boulder, Colorado. Home of the Colorado Buffaloes as that one's dug out by Kienko. Comments sets up a spike from Maslak and an early kill for Rachel Maslak as she gets her first kill of the afternoon. And Kienko, the defensive specialist libero, will take a seat. And replacing her will be Ariana Casingal, a sophomore from Melbourne, Florida. From the service area, Sarah Doyle, not her strength, but she gets it over. Dug out there by Lamica. And the spike is dug out by Doyle. From the far side, Eileen Shee, and what else is new? The team leader in kills does it again from the far side of the court. And the San Francisco, California native has given the Beacons a 12-6 lead as they double up the Owls here in set number 1. Doyle with the service, dug out on the far side, a play made by Matthew. Good block in front by Rachel Maslak, and then no man's land as UMass Boston gets the credit for the point. Too many touches there on the far side for number 15, Kelly Hunt, who will take a seat. Hunt replaced by Kate West, who steps in to serve. Dug out by Gibbs. Comments, far side for Shee. Beautiful block up front. Kienko and Shee got tied up, and Comments is going to have a doozy of a time getting that over, and she won't, as the point will go to the Owls, who fly high on that one. Kate West to serve yet again. If you're just tuning in, this is the 2017 LEC Tournament Championship. First to 3 sets wins it, maximum of 5. Beacons here in set 1 lead at 12-8. Kienko digs this one out. Comments, far side for Shee, and a little bit too much there. 3 consecutive points scored here for the Owls, and it's 12-9 Beacons. Off the service from West. Comments trying to do it all over again for Shee. Beautiful dig there by West. Chance for Lamica. Dug out by Gibbs. Comments back to Gibbs. Gibbs gets it over. Dug out by Bunker. By way of Wilson, and unable to get that one over is Lamica. As the Beacons now see their lead trimmed down to 2, it's 12-10. Kate West is on quite a run from the service area as Gibbs has to get it over. She does. Lamica digs it out. And that one spiked right back in as a good block by the combination of Eileen Shee and Ariana Cassingal. Sends it right back in the face of Neve Dodd. And that extends the Beacons' lead to 13-10. So Carson Comets will take a seat for UMass Boston. And coming on out to replace her is the starter, Amelia Shepieska. Block attempt from Shepieska is off the mark. Beacons keep it alive with a nice dig by Maslak. Can they do it again? No, they can't. And so all of a sudden, the Beacons, who had a 12-6 advantage here in set one, see that advantage trimmed down to 2. It's 13-11. And getting set to serve for the Owls will be Olivia Matthew, the Derry native. Dug out by Kienko. Maslak, far side. Spike attempt for Shepieska. Nice dig there by Matthew. And Lamica tries to answer, but she cannot. And a nice soft, deceptive play by Shepieska. They expected a spike. She just went with the soft one-handed drop, and UMass Boston extends the lead to 3. Eileen Shee to serve for the first time since the opening service of this one. As setting that one up was Dodd. Maslak keeps it alive for Gibbs, and a beauty by Alex Gibbs, but an even better performance by Bunker and company to keep it alive. Bunker digs out that spike from Shepieska as West sends it deep, dug out by Kienko. Far side Gibbs spikes it down, and it's kept alive still. What a volley we have here. And with the ball hitting the net, the Beacons do get the point, 15-11, as they extend it to 4 now. Eileen Shee continuing to serve well here early on in the championship affair. Shee dug out by Matthew. Bunker sets up Lamica. Beautiful block. Shepieska rises above the netting like a redwood in California as the Beacons, with a timeout on the court, have extended their lead here in the 2017 Little East Conference Championship game. It's 16-11 UMass Boston here in set number 1. We're going to take a commercial timeout. When we come back, we will have the exciting conclusion of set number 1 between the Beacons and the Keene State Owls.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, then I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
Mike Houlihan discussing strategy with his team as UMass Boston leads 16-11 here in set number 1. I am John Scudris. This is the Beacons Broadcasting Network's production of the 2017 Little East Conference Tournament Championship. UMass Boston leading 16-11 here in set 1 as they are hoping to capture the conference title and an automatic berth to the NCAA tournament for the 8th time in the last 9 years. Keene State looking to get it done on the road for the first time since 2008 when they did it right here against the Beacons. Eileen Shee service, and that one is not going to get it done. A little bit too much mustard on that one, and service goes back the other way. And 4'11" libero, Riley Bunker with the serve, dug out by Gibbs. Maslak setting up Gibbs, but instead it's taken by Cassingal. And a chance for a spike attempt by Severino, dug out by the Beacons libero. That's Kienko. Back and forth on the volley. Nice deceptive move there by Lamica. Kienko sets it up as Shepieska tries to drill it home. A little bit too much there. And credit the point to the Owls. Scoreboard says 16-13. Thought it might have been 16-14. We'll go with what the scoreboard says right now as Eileen Shee off the Maslak set. Lamica over the head, backwards, gets it over. Maslak setting up a chance for Shepieska, and she is out of bounds yet again. So the run here for the Owls has been a set of runs and a timeout, UMass Boston. So after the timeout by Bob Weiner, it was all Owls, and now the Beacons will counter with a timeout of their own. Mike Houlihan wants to talk. We'll go to a break. When we come back, the conclusion of this first set, it's 16-14 Beacons on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Beacons send out the same lineup. Macayla Kianko, the libero for UMass Boston. As the libero for the Owls, Riley Bunker will serve. Dug out by Shee. Maslak far side. A spike there from Gibbs. Dug out. Nice play there by Matthew. Beacons leading 16-14. It has been a topsy-turvy first set as the Beacons get the kill, and it's Rachel Maslak with the credit as Sarah Doyle heads back out onto the court, replacing number 12, Ariana Cassingal. And so Kianko getting set to serve. Macayla, what a year it's been, leading the team in digs, filling in for the departed Elizabeth Glavin, and she has set some milestones of her own as that one comes out of bounds, and the Beacons get credit. 18-14, UMass Boston extending their lead after that beautiful timeout from Houlihan. Macayla, as I said, led the team in digs. She was the defensive leader as a senior, and after a couple of years of having to sit behind Liz Glavin, she has made a name for herself and emerged from the shadow of her predecessor. There's a beautiful dig on the far side from West. Sets up Lamica, but the Beacons get it. Too many touches for the Owls, and the Beacons now extend their lead 19-14. If you're not familiar, we play up to 25%. Win by 2 as the Beacons 6 away from winning set 1. Dug out by Bunker, way up into the air like a mortar shot. And now here's Lamica off the set of Matthew. Dug out by Shee. And the Beacons get it as a beautiful play from Sarah Doyle. The block attempt unsuccessful from Jennifer Severino. And the Garden State native can only watch as the Beacons extend the lead to 6. Kianko known for her defensive prowess, but doing a good job the last couple of serves. Right there is her fault, as that's an error and the point the other way. And so service to the setter, Bailey Wilson, out of Moore Park, California, as Kate West takes a seat. Wilson clips the top of the net, but got it over. Doyle got tricked up there by Maslak, but a great adjustment midair. Meanwhile, Kianko digs that one out on a spike attempt from Kelly Hunt, and that one is pounded home. Shepieska and company re-extending their lead to 6 as Amelia will head back to the service area. Too many balls on the court there as Kianko will boot one out. Shepieska serving, dug out by Bunker. Trouble here perhaps. Lamica had to get it over. Good job by Rachel. And now Rachel Maslak sets up a chance. And who but Sarah Doyle? What a first set she's had offensively as Maslak setting them up, and she is putting them down as that extends the Beacons lead to 22-15. 3 away from winning set 1. Service there from Shepieska. Lamica on the far side, and a nice play by Lamica, but even better by UMass Boston. Staying in their defensive lanes, not touching it, and now Christina Elliott will make her first appearance, the junior setter out of the great state of Washington. With the Beacons up by 8, she sets that one up. A great talent she has in the service area, does Elliott. Now Elliott trying to set up Gibbs. Alex Gibbs denied on a nice play made by Wilson. Getting that one over Matthew, dug out by Shee. Elliott sets up Maslak. Even better defense up front by the duo of Lamica and Severino as they block that one right back at the Beacons. And now Carmen Comets comes back in as Carson will replace Elliott, who came in just for that service. And now Lamica, dug out by Shee. Carson Comets got that one over, but she did make contact with the netting, and so 23-17 as the lead now trickling down again. That service by Lamica, and it's as good as it gets. An ace from Rachel Lamica and a timeout on the court. So the Beacons, who had extended it to their largest lead of 8 just moments ago, see it trickle down back to 5, and Mike Houlihan wants a timeout. We'll be back in a bit right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Cheer for the stumbles, the he shoulda had that's, and the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
Let's take a look now here in the intermission report at first half highlights, or first set highlights, I should say. Hold that thought. We'll wait until the end of the set. Beacons leading at 23-18. At the end of the set, we'll have first set highlights. Got tripped up there, almost there. Beacons trying to close this one out, 23-18 right now. We'll also look around Beaconville, not the only game going on campus right now, or this afternoon, as the women's hockey team will get set for a matchup later on. Getting underway in about 30 minutes' time. Beacons off the service from Bunker. Kienko keeps it alive. Doyle far side for Gibbs. Gibbs gets it over and gets the kill as Alex Gibbs, the senior from Fair Oaks Ranch, Texas. She lassos herself a kill there and puts the Beacons 1 point away from getting set number 1. And Gibbs will look to get it done and end set 1 right here as she will get ready to serve. Alex Gibbs, the Texas native, dug out there by Matthew. Set up by Wilson, a spike attempt by Hunt, dug out Kianko. Maslak keeps it alive, Gibbs gets it over, beautiful play. Teamwork at its best as Severino sees her kill attempt dug out. Here's Maslak setting it up, but Lamica digs it out. Wilson for Matthew, and that is a beautiful play. And perseverance pays off for the Owls as they are able to keep their wings fluttering here in set number 1. It's 24-19. Just entering in the game, Sydney Morgan, the freshman from Boulder. She will serve as UMass Boston, leading by 5, will await. Dug out there by Gibbs. Kamensk, Maslak, and a good dig there by Wilson. Matthew tries to get it over. She does. Doyle for Kamensk. Maslak, hesitation play. Dug out smartly. Here's Kelly Hunt. Kienko to Kamensk. Far side for She to end it. Back to Eileen, back and forth they go, and UMass Boston, as Kelly Hunt, unable to keep it alive, wins set number 1 by the final of 25-19. And they get the all-important first set as the two teams will switch sides. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, look at first half highlights and around Beaconville, right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Digging that one out, the libero, Macayla Kianko. And there's a spike on the far side from Gibbs, and she delivers. It all came together. Lamica, beautiful spike, and Rachel Lamica, who has done buffaloes as that one's dug out by Kianko. Comments sets up a spike from Maslak and an early Lamica. And the spike is dug out by Doyle from the far side. Eileen She, and what else is new? The team leader in She, dug out by Matthew. Bunker sets up Lamica. Beautiful block. Shepieska rises above the netting like a... Meanwhile, Kienko digs that one out on a spike attempt from Kelly Hunt. And that one is pounded home. That service by Lamica, and it's... She will serve as UMass Boston leading by 5 will await. Dug out there by Gibbs. Kamensk. Maslak, and a good dig there by Wilson. Matthew tries to get it over. She does. Doyle for Kamensk. Maslak, hesitation. Play. Dug out smartly. Here's Kelly Hunt. Kianko to Kamensk. Far side for She to end it. Back to Eileen. Back and forth they go. UMass Boston almost ready for set number 2. Beacons leading this 2017 Little East Conference Tournament Championship 1-0 in a battle between the 1 and 2 seeds. Let's look now around Beaconville. Here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network, women's hockey will host Castleton right on the Beacons Broadcasting Network at 2 p.m. Feel free to tune on over at the conclusion of this one. And men's hockey will travel to Castleton for their second straight matchup against an LEC foe. That one at 4 p.m. The women losing to Norwich 5-3 yesterday. The men losing 5-0 on the road to the Cadets for their first loss of the campaign. We are all set to go for UMass Boston. Coming on out for Mike Houlihan to begin set 2. It's Ariana Cassingal, Amelia Shepieska, Rachel Maslak, Alex Gibbs, Macayla Kianko, and Eileen She. Meanwhile, for the visitors, it's the starting lineup of Dodd, Lamicka, Wilson, Matthews, Severino, and West. Off the opening service by She, and the Beacons get the first point here of the second set. As unable to get that one over was Bailey Wilson, and UMass Boston picks up right where they left off. Eileen She right back into the service area. Dug out there, good play made by Kate West, but the Beacons see the Owls unable to return service for the second straight time. Off the She serve. Chance for a spike attempt, and Neve Dodd gets the kill. For Neve, it's her first kill of the championship affair, as she will immediately take a seat for Severino. In that first set, it was 4 kills for Keene and 11 for UMass Boston, with Sarah Doyle and Shepieska leading the way. Digging that one out for Shepieska was Cassingal as UMass Boston extends the lead to 3-1. Coming on in for Ariana Cassingal. Sarah Doyle back in here in set number 2 as Macayla Kianko will serve. Spike attempt blocked right back from whence it came. Still alive, and another block as UMass Boston continuing to play well up front. And Amelia Shepieska, not once, not twice, but 3 times delivers against the star Rachel Lamicka. For the visiting Owls, it's 4-1. Kianko, just got it over. Nice dig by Bunker. Severino gets it over, kept alive Shepieska. Maslak for Gibbs, into no man's land as that one falls in, and Alex Gibbs delivers again. It's 5-1, UMass Boston. Beacons had 2 service aces, and both of them were by Kianko. In set 1, make it 3 as she continues to play well. The Beacons have extended their set 2 lead to 6-1. This second set absolutely critical for the Owls. If they fall behind 2-0, their hopes of coming back dwindle. Kept alive for Severino. And did she make contact? She did. She made contact and went over the net, and so the Beacons get 7. It's now 7-1 as Kianko continues from the service area. She has been outstanding this afternoon. Macayla dug out far side there by West as Bunker keeps it alive. Shepieska to Maslak for Gibbs, and Alex got a little bit too much on that one. As on the board yet again, and heading back to the service area is Bailey Wilson and these Owls, as West will take a seat, replaced by Kelly Hunt. Wilson serves, dug out by She, but Maslak was unable to keep it in. So in this, what has been a match of runs, the Beacons and the Owls, seeing the Owls now with 2 in a row, looking to keep that going as Bailey Wilson, the freshman from Moore Park, California, Sends this over. Dug out by Kianko. Maslak, what a punch there by Doyle in midair, but kept alive by Severino. Matthews sees it dug out by Kianko. Beacons and the Owls, solid volley here, but Kelly Hunt is not going to be able to keep that one in. Point to the Beacons as Shepieska back to the service area. Amelia did have an error from the service area in the first set. Beautiful block up front by Gibbs on Lamica. Far side for Hunt. Ooh, close to going over the net there was Maslak, but the Beacons keep this one alive. Almost a collision there between Shepieska and She. Beautiful play from Gibbs just to tap that over. Wilson sends it far side for Lamica, who gets it rejected. Mutombo style back in her face, but then she answers right back as Lamica sends it in front of Doyle. And it's now 8-4 as Lamica will head back to serve. Substitution as Carson Commons comes in for Shepieska. Off of the Lamica serve, and that one was discombobulated from the start as Commons is the only one home, but not in a good position to make the play. And UMass Boston, all of a sudden, as I mentioned, a match of runs here. It's now 8-5. Lamica serving. Oh, that is an error if I've ever seen it. It's their second of the day. And the Beacons back on top by 4 and service to Alex Gibbs. Dug out by Bunker. Wilson for Hunt. And that's out. So the Beacons now with 10 as that one comes out of bounds. 10-5 UMass Boston. Alex Gibbs yet again. She's been outstanding today, not on that one. It's an error as she sends that one over the back line. And it is 10-6, another substitution. 2 substitutions, in fact, as Neve Dodd comes back in the game, as does Sydney Morgan. Morgan will serve as the freshman from Boulder sees this one dug out by Kianko. Kamensk looking for Shea, rejected by Hunt. Tipped over by Matthew, kept alive by Rachel Maslak. Kianko got to get it over Eileen Shee. Nice dig by Lamica, but too much on that one as she couldn't control it. And the Beacons back on top by 5 as a couple of subs coming in. It's Elliott as well as Kassengal. And Doyle heading back to serve. Kamensk and Shepieska will take a seat. Sarah Doyle to serve in set 1. Sarah did have an ace. She'll try to keep her momentum going. Dug out by Bunker. And there you go. Coming in off the bench, Ariana Kassengal, the sophomore from Melbourne, Florida. And the native of the Sunshine State shines some light on the Beacons' chances here. It's 12-6. Doyle to serve yet again. Dug out by Lamica. Wilson for Hunt. And she puts that one right into the netting. Not sure if the Beacons even blocked it. And we will have a Bob Weiner timeout. So the Owls trailing 1-0, now trailing set 2, 13-6. We'll be back right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
UMass Boston was my first choice because when I came to the campus, I saw that there was a lot of diversity. There's a lot of people. Here there is a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world. I'm Julia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
I'm Olivia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
We're sisters.
We're sisters.
I play volleyball and she plays basketball. Here they have a freshman success community. So each major has their own community that you can join as a freshman, and you take classes with them, you do study groups with them. So it was really helpful getting to know people in your major right away.
So in health exercise sciences, we have an internship at the end, so it's so much better to have like an advisor helping you out, like telling you which classes to choose.
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. I'm John Skudris. Set number 2 of this, the 2017 LEC Tournament Championship. The winner advancing to the NCAA Regional Tournament. The loser, well, for some of the seniors, that's all she wrote. Although as I look at the roster here, only one, Rachel Lamica, is still on the roster for these Owls. So if they do lose, only Rachel has definitely seen her last days as a collegiate volleyball player. But they're trying to keep it alive, down just 1-0, but down 13-6 in set 2. As serving here and freshly entered into the game is Sydney Birch, sophomore from Boca Raton, and she helps contribute as Eileen Shee up front delivers. And the Beacons now up 14-6. Boca Raton native Birch sends this one over, her second service of the afternoon. Dodd dug out there by Gibbs, and a beautiful spike and a kill for Rachel Maslach. What a performer she has been this year. Rachel, long heralded, having plenty of potential. With the Beacons' experience and talent the last couple of years, she played sparingly. As a beautiful block in front by Cassingal. Maslach does the same. Eileen Shee sends it in the air, and that one's going to come out into the stands. Sydney Birch gave it her all, but had no chance of saving that one. And it's 15-6 as we'll see a substitution. Birch will take a seat for Doyle. And Hunt will take a seat for West for the Owls. Kianko also in for Doyle, I should say. So Kianko in for Birch as this one is dug out, kept alive by Lamica. Wilson far side for Matthew, and a nice, deceptive, soft touch on the open pond tap, and that cuts it to 15-7. Talking about Rachel Maslach, she's done a lot of production work prior to this year for the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Always great helping out with the broadcast, and now it's good to see that she's really made a name for herself on the volleyball court as the Beacons deliver again, as that's Alex Gibbs getting the kill, and UMass Boston doubles up the Owls of Keene State at 16-8, and Rachel Maslach, as I'm mentioning her, will head to the service area. Led the team in assists this year, one of the best setters in the conference, bar none, and our player to watch today, as Rachel keeps it alive for Eileen Shee, who leads the team in kills. Far side for Matthew, and what a play. We'll see if they credit it. Waiting, and now they're going to give it to UMass Boston. And now a discussion between Weiner and the head linesman. On the far side of the net, Weiner wants to know, how is that touched? How is that not touched by UMass Boston? Linesman had the best look at it. He's right there as digging that one out. And a good play was Wilson. West tries to get anything out of that one. She can't. And all of a sudden, the Beacons are up 10. It's 18-8 as the wheels are coming off here in set 2 for Bob Weiner and the Owls. Maslach to serve. Dug out by Bunker. Wilson teeing it up for Lamica, and the senior struggling here in set 2 as she could not get anything on that one. It's 19-8. Beacons on quite a run after that last time out, and it continues as almost miscommunication, almost a collision, but totally miscommunicated between the duo of Wilson and Matthew, and we will get yet another Keene State timeout. The Owls have been grounded here in set 2. The Beacons already up 1-0 on a bit of a run here. They lead it 20-8 in set 2 here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
People at UMass Boston, they're here because they know they can have an impact, not just on research, but on people, on their students.
This is just the starting point. It only has potential to grow, and it has a big potential to grow up.
You're really having a direct impact on people's lives, and you can see that now, and you can see that years from now.
So I think it's becoming like the place that people want to go.
What UMass Boston is able to offer to its young people, it certainly stands out to that mission that was set right out in the beginning. It's something UMass Boston should be and can be very proud about.
We are back here. Thank you, Anthony Searles. 20-8 UMass Boston. Rachel Maslak delivering on the service. Beacons up 20-8 as they look to continue their dominance of the Owls this season and win the LEC championship. And who else but Rachel Maslak as she continues to torment the opposition here in 2017. The Beacons have extended it to their largest lead of the match. It's 21-8. Kate West digs out Rachel's service. Far side, and that one pounded home. And the Beacons continuing to soar and shine a light towards the championship. As unable to keep that one in was Matthew. Taking a seat now will be the team star, Rachel Lamica. And making her first appearance, Megan Palmer, a freshman from East Islip, New York. Maslak getting set to serve. Rachel from Berlin Center, Ohio. The Buckeye State as that one is delivered out of bounds, and the Beacons keep soaring. It's 23-8, 2 away from taking a commanding 2-0 lead in the LEC championship. Reminder, the winner of their season continues with the automatic bid to the D3 NCAA tournament. Here's she, and she's blocked back. Great play by Kianko to keep it alive. Rachel sets up Macayla, who gives it to she, and it's dug out. Nice play from West. Matthew getting it from Wilson, and that one is in. And finally, mercifully, the Owls stop the bleeding as their wings had been clipped for the last couple of minutes. But Matthew, who gets the kill, will head back, and she will look to take her talents to the service area. Kianko digs out Matthew's serve as Shepieska gets it from she. Kianko for Maslak, and no one was home as Shepieska had transitioned to the center of the court from the far side. And Rachel and her little bit of a miscommunication. So with the 13-point lead, it's not as big a deal as it would be in a closer match as Matthew sees her serve dug out. Maslak for she, and that's dug out again by Matthew. Good spike and a kill. As recently entering in, Megan Palmer, the freshman from East Islip, New York, gets it. Matthew will head back. It's 23-11. 3 consecutive for the Owls. Maslak for Shepieska, and to make it 4 consecutive. So the Owls all of a sudden have some wind beneath their wings, and Mike Houlihan knows it. He calls timeout with the Beacons having given up 4 consecutive to Keene State. It's 23-12 here in set number 2. We'll be back right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
What separates UMass Boston from other schools is the fact that a large percentage of students commute. For me, it takes 2 hours each day to go to and from school, but every second has been worth it because the students that come here are serious about learning, they value their education, and understand where it'll take them in the future. This is what UMass Boston means to me.
(23-12) as we're out of the timeout here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Stay tuned after this set. Of course, get you the highlights of this set, which the Beacons have dominated with the exception of the last 4. Beacons had a 23-8 lead. It's now 23-12 as they're trying to close out set number 2 and take a commanding 2-0 lead here in the championship game. We'll also take a look at the LEC scoreboard, which not really much going on since this is the championship. Meanwhile, UMass Boston off the service from West, and the run continues out of the timeout. Beacons can't keep it in bounds. It's now 23-13. And I think if they could, they'd have Olivia Matthew, the outside hitter from Derry, New Hampshire, serving all day. She's gone 5 straight. Oh, boy. Struggles continue. Kianko's getting it to she, and a great play by that duo, Kianko and she, to get it over. And a better block in front on a play made by Eileen Shee again, and the Beacons get it as unable to get it over as Palmer. And the Beacons now 1 away from capturing set number 2, leading 24-13. Eileen Shee, who started this set with an ace, will look to end it by getting the Beacons the final point. That one dug out by West. Wilson pounded right back at Dodd. Matthew, far side. Palmer got it over, dug out by Gibbs. Maslak setting up Shepieska. And Amelia hesitated a little bit on that one. and she'll pay for it because it's now 24-14. Severino enters here for Neve Dodd. And to the service area, 4'11" Riley Bunker. She digs it out. Gibbs, open palm, sets it up. Matthew, Palmer, and Wilson. Beacons keeping it alive. Kianko for Gibbs to win the set. And that one is dug out by Palmer. Palmer taps it over. Maslak keeps it alive. Eileen Shee to win it. West digs it out. As Matthew is able to get it over. Shepieska to Gibbs. What a volley. Beacons and the Owls. Owls need this one to stay alive in set 2. Shepieska and a beautiful block in front by Severino. Jennifer Severino, the sophomore from Galloway, New Jersey. And she keeps the Owls alive here in set 2. It's 24-15 as Amelia Shepieska will take a seat. Christina Elliott heads on out. Bunker ready to go again, trying to keep the hopes in the second set alive for the Owls. Elliott for Gibbs, and the Beacons have won set number 2. They take set 1 25-19. They take set 2 25-15, and they are one set away from capturing the Little East Conference Championship for the 8th time in the last 9 years. We'll go to a break here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. When we come back, we will have second set highlights and a look around the Little East Conference right here on the BBN.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Welcome back. After 2 sets, the Beacons 1 set away from capturing their 8th title in the last 9 years in this LEC tournament. Let's take a look at highlights of that second set with the Beacons winning it 25-15. Off the Shee serve. Chance for a spike attempt, and Neve Dodd gets the kill. For it over, nice dig by Bunker. Severino gets it over, kept alive Shepieska. Maslak for Gibbs, into no man's land as that one falls in, and Alex Gibbs delivers it. Tipped over by Matthew, kept alive by Rachel Maslak. Kianko got to get it over. Eileen Shee, nice dig by Lamica, but too much on that one. Momentum going, dug out by Bunker, and there you go. Coming in off Dodd. Dug out there by Gibbs, and a beautiful spike, and Kate's helping out with the broadcast, and now it's good to see that she's really made a name for herself on the volleyball court as the Beacons deliver again their dominance of the Owls this season and win the LEC championship. And who else? Rachel from Berlin Center, Ohio. The Buckeye State as that one is delayed from West. Matthew getting it from Wilson. And that one is in. And finally, mercifully, and she keeps the Owls alive here in set 2. It's 24-15. As Amelia Shepieska will take a seat. Christina Elliott heads on out. Bunker ready to go again, trying to keep the hopes in the second set alive for the Owls. Elliott for Gibbs, and the Beacons have won set number 2. Let's take a quick look at the LEC scoreboard. These are the matchups for the other championship games. 1-1 in the women's soccer battle between the 2 Connecticut schools in the first half. Field hockey, Keene State on their way to a win over Westfield State, perhaps. That's in the first half. And in men's soccer, Rhode Island College takes on number 1 WestCon at 2 p.m. As that one, you just missed it. That's Matthew yet again. Olivia Matthew with a service ace to begin set 3. as the back's against the wall for the Owls, down 2-0 here in the championship. Matthew was outstanding at the end of set 2. It was 23-8. The end of set 2. She got 5 consecutive, make it 23-13 for the Beacons won. Ultimately 25-15, and now 2 in a row for Matthew and the Owls to start set 3. This is a trend we've seen a lot over the last couple of years, where the Beacons will take a 2-0 lead, and that third set will get away from them before they do settle down. As rising above the trees is Eileen Shee to pound it home. Boy, oh boy, the ups on Eileen. Rising above the redwoods of Northern California for the San Francisco native. So Shee from the service area looking to even it up, and a good dig by West as she got help from her teammate Wilson. But UMass Boston eventually does get it. It's 2-2. Eileen from the service area, and Kate West just lost control of that dig as it sails out of bounds past Neve Dodd. And 3 consecutive for UMass Boston as they are 22 points away from capturing the LEC championship and advancing to the NCAA tournament. From the far side, and UMass Boston will continue their upward swing of momentum as going and making contact with the netting in front was Wilson, and the Beacons lead it 4-2. 4 straight for Shee from the service area. Dug out by Bunker. Wilson near side. Lamica, and she's blocked in front. The Beacons trees of Kassengal and Shepieska delivering for UMass Boston. 5-2. The Beacons looking to send the home fans home happy and earlier than many might have expected, as that makes contact with the awning that's hanging from the catwalks here. And by rule, that play is live, and the Beacons do get it, as unable to contain it off of the collision was West, and then there's an error off the service by Eileen Shee. From Bunker's service, Maslak far side for Gibbs, blocked down in front, but unable to get it back over was Wilson. And the Beacons lead it 7-3. Substitution, Kassengal will take a seat for Sarah Doyle. So the Beacons replace the 6-foot Ariana Kassengal with the 6'2 sophomore Sarah Doyle. And so a little more size up front with a 7-3 lead is Macayla Kianko. Will serve for Mike Houlihan's UMass Boston Beacons. She just got it over as it nipped the tip of the net. Good play from Macayla as the Beacons get the point. As unable to keep that one in was Lamica, as Rachel has been unable to get going here in this championship game. 8-3 as Kianko sees her service dug out by West. Lamica for Matthew, and she did not get underneath that one enough. And the Beacons now lead it 9-3. Back on October the 18th, the Beacons won 3-1 behind Eileen Shee, as the Beacons look for the sweep here in the title game, as this one is in. A beautiful play from the far side, as able to drop that in was Severino, just on the white line on the far side. So UMass Boston, who had reeled off 9 of the last 10 points, turns this one back over to Wilson and the Owls. Here's Bailey. Dug up by Gibbs, and not well. Eileen Shee has to get it to Shepieska, and a good job by Amelia to keep that one in. As Hunt spikes that one, dug out by Shee. Maslak for Shepieska. Doyle keeps it alive. Rachel sends it for Eileen Shee, and just a bit too much mustard on that one, as it's now 9-5, and another serve for number 16, Bailey Wilson, and these Owls. Bailey ready to go. Down 9-5. Second straight service for her. Dug out by Gibbs. Maslak for Doyle. Deflected by Lamica. Hunt keeps it alive. Not once but twice. And Matthew is unable to do so. Helped up by Lamica. It's now 10-5. UMass Boston, as Christina Elliott all smiles as she comes in for Amelia Shepieska. And Elliott will head right to her favorite spot, the service area. Beacons up 10-5. They lead 2-0. As too much on that one from Christina Elliott. As that one goes right back to the Owls, it's 10-6. Lamica, who has struggled from the service area today, will head back there. Rachel, ready for service. Overhead serve as that one's dug out by Kianko. Gibbs for Doyle. Wilson near side for Matthew. Deflected. Kianko keeps it alive for Gibbs. And Eileen Shee sends it over to be dug out by Riley Bunker. Hunt for Elliott. Maslak far side for Gibbs. And that one is in for Alex Gibbs as the Texas native delivers for UMass Boston. It's 11-6. Gibbs ready to serve. Ooh, and Lamica and Bunker almost collide. Lamica over a foot taller than Riley Bunker at 4'11". Far side for Eileen Shee. Beautiful block, Severino and Hunt combining up front for that. They try to do it again for Shee. A little more arc. Nice dig by Lamica. Wilson gets it over. Maslak for Doyle. Good dig by Wilson. Severino for Elliott to dig out from the far side for Shee and did not get it over the net. And that one is a point now credited to the Owls. It's 11-7. Couple of subs coming on in as Neve Dodd will step on in, as will Sydney Morgan, a freshman from Boulder, Colorado. Morgan will do the honors of serving as it's 11-7. Beacons on top here in set 3. Morgan, dugout Kianko. Elliott for Maslak and Rachel. Got it tipped there by Matthew. Wilson tips it behind her to Hunt. Elliott and Kianko keep it alive for Shee and unable to handle the howitzer cannon from the spike of Eileen Shee was Lamica. It's 12-7. Substitution on the court for both squads. Severino back in for Morgan. Bunker also stepping in. And for the Beacons, Ariana Cassingal is in for Doyle. Excuse me, actually for Shepieska. Doyle was serving as that one is dug out. Nice play by Hunt to keep it alive. Eileen Shee looking to extend a 5-point lead here in set 3 as that comes out. Ooh, they're going to give credit to Keene State. Didn't look good to me, but I'm much farther from the lineswoman down there, and so it is 12-8. Beacons had a 9-3 advantage here in set 3. It's now 12-8 as the Owls trying to keep their season alive. Maslak, beautiful play by West on the far side. Got that over the net. Eileen Shee deflected. Bunker setting it up for Wilson for Dodd. Careening back in her face by Cassingal, who blocks it right back from whence it came. Shepieska back into the game as she will replace Christina Elliott. Rachel Maslak will head to the service area with the Beacons up 13-8 in set 3. West digs it out. Wilson hits the Jumbotron, and what a break for UMass Boston. There's a reason you get home court advantage for being the number 1 seed, as the Jumbotron in the middle of this volleyball court ends up being as good a blocker as you can get up front for the Beacons as they do it again, but this one does come out of bounds, so it will go to the visiting Owls. Should be 13-9. 14-9 as the linesman just corrected the scoreboard operator. 14-9, UMass on top. Matthew, dug out by Shee. Maslak back for Eileen, and that was a tough play for anybody. Eileen was 5 feet away from where Rachel was setting it up right in front of the net, and a good block from Rachel Lamica. It's now 14-10. Beacons looking to win the LEC for the 8th time in the last 9 years, and that'll help. As Olivia Matthew, who's been outstanding from the service area today, one of her few faults there, and an error as it goes back to the Beacons 15-10. Oh, and Eileen Shee says anything you can do, I can do worse, so she sends that right into the netting. It's 15-11 as Bunker will get back out there. Bunker serves this one up. Good dig from Eileen. Maslak for Shee. This is where her talents lie. Ooh, just a bit too much on that one as this Once wide lead is now 15-12. Eileen Shee will catch a breather, replaced out there by Sydney Birch. Sydney's second appearance in this match. As Bunker serves it, tough dig for Kianko. Sydney Birch right off the bench, right back to Macayla, who had to get it over. Nice job by Kianko as Severino sends it. Oh, no man's land as no one will get to that one. Birch then almost trips Kianko as she was diving for it. They're okay. It's 15-12 and a timeout for Mike Houlihan and the Beacons. So it went from a one-sided third set. Now we have a match. It's 15-13 here in set number 3. Beacons trying to close out their 8th championship in the last 9 years. We'll be back right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
What separates UMass Boston from other schools is the fact that a large percentage of students commute. For me, it takes 2 hours each day to go to and from school, but every second has been worth it because the students that come here are serious about learning, they value their education, and understand where it'll take them in the future. This is what UMass Boston means to me.
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. I'm John Skudras. Happy to be with you for the 2017 Little East Conference Tournament Championship. First matchup here between these two teams since October the 18th when the Beacons won 3-1. Same lineup out there for the Beacons. You'll have Mazlak, Shepieska, and Ariana Casangalo up front. In the back you have Gibbs, Kianko, and Birch. Bunker with the service dug out by Kianko. Mazlak for Emilia, but Shepieska gets it drilled right back in her face from Severino's had a nice day, and it's now 15-14. What a run here, led by the 4'11" libero Bunker from the service area. There's Gibbs, blocked right back at her. Alex sets it up. Mazlak, ooh! Deceptive. She faked the set, instead put it over, and contact with the net, but the Beacons are the guilty party, and it's 15-15. All of a sudden, the Owls are alive and well. Bunker. Dug out by Kianko. Here's Gibbs, deflected. Lamica for Wilson, back to Rachel Lamica. Birch digs it out from her knees. As Cassingal finds no man's land in the back left corner of the court, and the Beacons retake the lead 16-15. Macayla Kianko, the Clearwater native, dug out by West. Severino, the one-handed tip dug out with both fists there by Kianko, but a great play up front by Bailey Wilson, as the freshman from California will head back to the service area with this one tied up at 16. Substitution as Kelly Hunt, sophomore from Milford, Connecticut, will step back on. She's one of those trees up front. Has done a great job today defensively. She'll replace Kate West, who's been everywhere today for these Owls. Birch gets it over, dug out by Bunker. Lamica delivers, and that's what she's known for. And all of a sudden, the Owls flying high as they have taken their first lead here of set number 3, and their first lead since early on in this one. As we take a quick peek as Wilson will serve yet again. 17-16, dug out Kianko. Mazlak, and this hesitation move from Doyle, and it's sent back by Severino and Hunt. And all of a sudden, folks, a sweep is looking less and less likely as Carson Cominsk will come on in for Rachel Mazlak, who hasn't gotten many chances to catch a breather today. Beacons trailing now in set 3, 18-16, leading 2-0 overall. Dug out by Gibbs. Cominsk back for Alex Gibbs. Dug out nicely there by Bunker. Wilson for Lamica. Good dig by Eileen Shee. She'll look to get the kill, but instead did not get it over the net. And all of a sudden, it's 19-16. And a timeout on the court for Mike Houlihan. So the Beacons, since their last timeout, have only scored 1 point. They've given up 4, and they trail 19-16. We'll be back right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Well, the Beacons thought they had this one wrapped up. They had a 2-0 lead and a 9-3 lead here in set 3. But all of a sudden, with their backs against the wall, Bob Weiner's Keene State Owls have risen to the occasion. And on the road, they lead it now 19-16 as they hope to win set 3 and keep their championship and NCAA tournament dreams alive. Bailey Wilson, who's been serving throughout this run, is back out there. Dug out by Shee. Comments for Doyle, but a little bit too much. It's 20-16. Seen this a lot from the Beacons over the course of the year where they get the early lead and things start to narrow. Just a little bit too much adrenaline on that one as this is set up for Gibbs. Good play. Bunker for Wilson, near side, and good block in front, and UMass Boston gets back in it. That's a beautiful block from Amelia Shepieska as she denies Rachel Lamica up close. And now Rachel Maslak back in this one, as well as Christina Elliott, Carson Kamensk, and Amelia Shepieska taking a seat. So Elliott will serve. Maslak up front with Gibbs and Doyle. Eileen Shee and Macayla Kianko also out there. And for the second straight time, Christina Elliott with a service error. It's 21-17, and Lamica, who has a couple of errors of herself today from the service area, will step back for the Owls. Lamica rising up, the overhand service. Elliott setting up Gibbs. Good block. Alex to the far side, who wants it. Elliott for Doyle. Doyle deflected up front by Severino. Wilson for Hunt. Too much. Out of bounds, and the UMass Boston Beacons are back on the scoreboard. It's 21-18. Alex Gibbs back to the service area. Bob Weiner's team looking to stay alive. They're 4 points away from forcing a set number 4. Dug out by Bunker. Severino set up by Wilson, and a great block up front from 6'2" Sarah Doyle. As Rachel Maslak, and Eileen Shee up front continue to play well, and a timeout on the court for Bob Weiner's Keene State Owls. So the Beacons playing a little back and forth, a roller coaster ride of a third set. They lead at 2-0, but the Owls lead set 3, 21-19. We'll be back here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
(21-19), the Owls lead set 3. Beacons leading this match 2-0. They won set number 1, 25-19, and set 2, 25-15. Should they win this one, they will win the LEC for the 8th time in the last 9 years. Meanwhile, the Owls will have to win 3 consecutive, including holding on in this set, in order to capture their first LEC championship since 2008. Gibbs from the service area out of the timeout. Good serve, dug out by Bunker. Wilson, near side for Matthew. Great play. Great play for Olivia Matthew as she gets the kill between Gibbs and Kianko right into no man's land. As 22-19 now, coming on in. Service specialist Sydney Morgan, the freshman from Boulder. She came in for Severino. She digs it out and shoots it way up into the air. Gets it back from Elliott. Eileen dug out nicely from Lamica. Hunt setting up Morgan. Gibbs for Elliott for She. And a nice dig there from Lamica. A powerful blast from She. But that one has to be more than 3 touches. It is. And UMass Boston has reached 20. It's 22-20 here in set number 3. As it's not hot potato down there, but it looked like it. As the Owls struggle to get that one over the net. Substitution, Severino and Morgan taking a seat. Matthew back out there, along with Dodd, who just sets this one up for Wilson. Gibbs to Elliott. Ooh, tough play. Great play, Rachel Maslach, to get it over. As Elliott setting up Rachel, who goes far side for She. Beautiful block. Still alive for the Beacons, though, as she gets it to Gibbs, who has to get it over. She does. The volley continues, 22-20 Owls. Hunt, too much on it. Was it deflected? I think it might have been. It was. And that's a break for the Owls as it was deflected by the Beacons. It's 23-20, although the scoreboard operator gave it to the Beacons. They're going to have to correct that. Still says 23-21. It's 23-20, as that is a beautiful spike and a kill for Eileen She, and now it's 23-21, as the Beacons are right back in it. Owls trying to keep their championship hopes alive, their season alive, and for Rachel Lamica, her career alive. This one for Matthew, kept alive, play made by Katzengal. Maslach setting up a beautiful, deceptive, open-handed palm by who else? Amelia Shebieska. And UMass Boston's down just 1. It's 23-22. They led this set 9-3. The Owls took a commanding lead later on, but they are right back in it, 23-22. Gibbs keeps it alive. Maslach setting up Shebieska. Dug out by West, blocked in front by Katzengal. Great play. Bunker gets it over. Macayla keeps it alive, but out of bounds. And that one sets up a set point here for Olivia Matthew and the Owls of Keene State. 24-22. The Owls just need one more to force a 4th set. Matthew, dug out by Kianko. Maslach for She, it's blocked and down as UMass Boston has trimmed the deficit to 24-23. Keep in mind, folks, they get to 24-24. Well, it's win by 2, so it's no holds barred. As UMass serving here, Eileen She, dug out, Wilson, short side, and a spike is out. It's down, and UMass Boston has evened it up at 24. The Beacons have risen from the ashes here in set 3 and are nearing closer to their 8th championship in their last 9 years. She's service, dug out by West. Wilson for Lamica. Kianko diving to keep it alive. Maslach, Shebieska, dug out by Bunker. Wilson, Lamica. Ooh, hesitation, and UMass Boston is 1 point away from capturing the Little East Conference Championship in straight sets. And a timeout for Bob Weiner as his team seeing their season slip away on the court of Clark Athletic Center. We'll be back for the exciting conclusion, we hope, of the 2017 Little East Conference Tournament Championship. (25-24) UMass Boston. Suddenly, from the ashes, the Beacons have risen, and they are looking to capture the championship with 1 more point. Eileen She, who began this match from the service area, will look to end it. Eileen gets it over. Matthew, tough play. Wilson, Lamica gets it over. Eileen for Maslak. And this one is over! Cue the duck boats! The championship trophy is home in Beaconville again. For the 8th time in the last 9 years, the UMass Boston Beacons have won the Little East Conference Tournament Championship. They ground the Owls of Keene State by a 3-0 score. And the UMass Boston Beacons sweep their way to the championship for the 8th time in the last 9 years. You want to talk about a dynasty? It lives here in Beaconville. What an unbelievable performance in a championship game. A team the Beacons beat in 4 sets just a couple of weeks ago. Here they are sweeping the Owls in the 3rd set, an exciting 26-24 win as the Beacons are on their way for the 8th time in the last 9 years to the NCAA tournament. We will come back in a moment. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we will have the championship trophy presentation as well as an interview with Coach Mike Houlihan and the most outstanding player of this Little East Conference tournament. Your UMass Boston Beacons are your 2017 LEC Women's Volleyball Champions.
I'm Elizabeth Clavin, sophomore business management major from Edina, Minnesota. I love being a part of this volleyball team. Volleyball is what brought me to UMass Boston. I looked at our recruiting website one last time and saw UMass Boston on it, came out for a visit the next week, and it kind of hit all the boxes that I was looking for. In a good city, good academic school, good volleyball program, it had everything I wanted. Although it was far away from home, I knew this is where I wanted to be. Winning 6 back-to-back LEC titles is really a dynasty, I think, and Terry has really focused hard on recruiting and building this dynasty and continuing to build a program that can continue to win championships, and it's really lucky to be a part of something this great. Last year I was the Little East Conference Defensive Player of the Year, All-Conference second team, NCAA Regional MVP of the regional tournament, ABC All-Region Honorable Mention, and New England Women's Volleyball Association All-Rookie Team.
The trophy presentation and the honoring of the most outstanding player in the LEC tournament as the UMass Boston Beacons, for the 8th time in the last 9 years, have won and advanced to the NCAA tournament. This was a year that a lot of people weren't really sure what to expect from both of these teams, especially UMass, having lost a couple of key contributors to transfers as well as graduation, the most notable being Elizabeth Glavin, who graduated, the libero. But her shoes were filled more than adequately, I'd say superbly, by the Clearwater, Florida native Macayla Kianco, as they honor this championship roster. Maggie Parker out of Quincy, Massachusetts gets her medal. Alex Gibbs played almost the entirety of this one. Rachel Maslak, our player to watch, who's been integral to the Beacons' success as a setter. Amelia Shebieska, what a transfer she's been, how critical to the Beacons' return to this conference championship and victory. Natalie Muawad, Christina Elliott, Carson Kamensk, Eileen Shee, Ariana Kassengal, Jess Lay. You see Macayla Kianco and Sarah Doyle, such great defensive players. Casey Shea getting her medal. Sydney Birch, who made a couple of appearances today, and Laura Roman Castro, all being honored. Beacons have just 2 seniors. It's Alex Gibbs and Macayla Kianco, but their seasons, their careers, and their volleyball lives, well, they're not over yet. They have an NCAA East Regional tournament that they will be battling in very, very soon. Mike Houlihan, this is his first year without the shadow of Terry Condon, also on the bench with him. Terry, of course, one of the great volleyball coaches, not only in the region but in the country, and replaced by Mike Houlihan officially this year, and he has been absolutely outstanding. The assistant coach, Kirsten Morrison, 2015 graduate of UMass Boston, as she will be honored as well. They are announcing the outstanding player. And Macayla Kianco is named your most outstanding player of the 2017 Little East Conference Tournament Championship, and for good reason. She has been absolutely outstanding defensively for the Beacons. And Macayla, the senior, is honored with a plaque, and an honor that she will remember for the rest of her life as she continues what has been an outstanding career here on Beaconville. Right now they're honoring Maslak, Birch, and Gibbs. And now the rest of their teammates will get in behind the photo to enjoy this championship victory as UMass Boston wins it by the final score of 3-0. We're going to go to a break here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. When we come back, we'll have an interview with Coach Houlihan and with Macayla Kianco, your most outstanding player of the 2017 Little East Conference Tournament. The final score, the Beacons, for the 8th time in 9 years, are your LEC champions. They are headed to the NCAA tournament with a 3-0 win over Keene State. We'll be back here on the BBN.
My name is Kirsten Morrison, a.k.a. Keek. I'm a senior here at UMass. I'm in the Exercise Health Sciences program, and I play volleyball, basketball, and softball. You know, I came here for volleyball, and I chose between basketball and softball, and I went with basketball my freshman year to play, and it's always kind of been a thing that I wanted to do is play softball my senior year. And after talking with Coach Dagg, she was like, yeah, come on the team, and I was like, all right, and here I am playing 3 sports this year. Being a Beacon, I don't even know if words can describe. You know, coming here as a freshman, I was a little nervous and scared. But, you know, I walked in these doors and they all had open arms. You know, they showed me the ropes. You know, the coaching staff, the athletic staff, the chancellor, the vice chancellors, everyone here is so welcoming, and I really can't stress enough about how much this is really a second family.
You're going to be like all gone by the time I get down there?
I'm at my 1,000 points this year. It's amazing. I don't even think words can describe how I feel about it. It's something I've always wanted to do my whole life, and doing it here with my teammates and the coaching staff here is just an unbelievable experience, and I'm so happy to be able to do that. I'm doing my internship this summer at the Quincy YMCA, and I really hope to be coaching in my future.
Pitch swung on and missed.
Kyle Strowski from Agawam, Massachusetts. I'm a senior here at UMass Boston. I'm a marketing major. Probably have to say my favorite moment was my no-hitter my freshman year. Being a freshman, especially just making a statement right away. Seeing the reactions on the seniors' faces. It was something that was a lot of fun to be a part of. If you want to play and you want to compete for championship every year, definitely UMass Boston is a good place to come look at.
And now, this one's launched, right center field. That's going to win the game for the Beacons. It is down.
LEC is probably best division in college D3 baseball in the country. Play against the top competition every year. I think we have a top.
Hey, Anthony, can Anthony hear me?
We're young, but we also mix in with a good group of junior college transfers. Being on the baseball team here at UMass is a good experience, great experience. Only about 2% of people can play college baseball.
Welcome back to the post-game show. Your UMass Boston Beacons are the 2017 Little East Conference Tournament champions, heading to the national tournament now for the 8th time in 9 years. Pleasure to be joined by Macayla Kianco, the 2017 LEC Tournament Most Outstanding Player. And Macayla, one of the few seniors on this unit. You've had to sit the last few years behind one of the best at the libero position in Elizabeth Glavin. Now you come in, you kind of have an opportunity to build your own brand, and what a performance you had here in 2017, leading the team in digs, one of the best defensive players in the conference, maybe even in the country. Just talk a little bit about how sitting behind Elizabeth, learning from her and learning from your teammates helped build you into the player you are today.
Honestly, she's a great player, and it was like really great to sit behind her and learn from her. And I just tried to come in and do my own job and not try to be her or do anything, just try to help my team out in any way that I can.
It's a great mindset, and you certainly helped your team out here in the tournament, the most outstanding player, always going down for the tough digs. Now, when you came up here a few years back, native of sunny Clearwater, Florida, Dunedin High School, you come up here to frosty UMass Boston. What made you want to come to Boston where the summer lasts about 6 weeks?
I just wanted to play volleyball, and any opportunity that I was given, I was going to take it. So I'm really glad I came.
We certainly are as well. Now, you're heading on and playing in the national tournament now with an opportunity to go to places that UMass Boston has been before and maybe even places they haven't. How excited are you to be out there in the future here for the remainder of your career in the tournament?
I'm pumped. I think we have a really good team. I think we're finally settling into and we're getting comfortable, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun in the tournament.
Absolutely. Now, whenever I talk to a player, they always, want to thank their parents, all the things they did, all the sacrifices they made. Are your parents here, or are they decked out in Florida?
No, they're actually in Florida. They're watching online, though. They're at a wedding, but they're still watching.
We're certainly happy that they did tune into the BBN, and, what a fine player that they have raised. Thank you, Macayla. Best of luck in the future and in the tournament and in your life beyond sports.
Thank you.
It's Macayla Kianko. We're going to tune into Coach Mike Houlihan as Coach comes on in. Coach, another LEC tournament championship, another berth in the NCAA tournament. 8 of the last 9 years this school has won this tournament. Talk a little bit about how this team impressed you this year. You lost a lot of key contributors from last year, and yet here you are again on your way to the NCAAs.
Yeah, I mean, we did. We lost a lot from last year. It was great to see them all back in the gym today for the match too. But I mean, this team, they had a lot of fight all year. We had a really tough schedule. So they didn't really kind of play too much into that. They knew that the losses were going to get us something from it. But no, it was great. They fought all year, and I think the good thing is right now is they realize their potential. They know what they can do, and we're gonna keep pushing. We got another match ahead of us. We're just gonna take them one at a time.
That's all you can really do. Now, this Keene State, that's a tough team that you guys just took out in straight sets. You guys played them a couple of weeks ago, so you knew a little bit of what to expect. They're a team you're familiar with. Talk a little bit about how much fight they put in today and how much trouble they gave you.
Yeah, Keene State, they're a great team. I mean, they really are, and we're fortunate we got out on them early and we got out on them quick. And once they settled into the match, they really pushed us down. I mean, especially in that set 3, they pushed us out to the limits. And I just kept looking at our players and telling them, you got to go one at a time, 1 point at a time. We got to fight for every point. And that's what they did. And that's how they got the comeback in that one. And that's why they're hoisting that trophy.
Yeah, that third set was mainly like 4 sets in one, a microcosm of this season, really, with the way you started slow before picking things up. In that third set, you guys had a couple of timeouts that you called back and forth. What were you telling the girls in the huddle?
Just do what we've been doing all year. I mean, we couldn't take that moment and feel like it was too big for us. We just had to take it 1 point at a time, and I just kept telling them they got to fight through it. We're better than this, and all we had to do is take one at a time. Keene State, they're a great team. They've got a great coach over there, so we knew they were going to keep pushing, and we knew they weren't going to let up. So we had to make some big plays, and they did it.
Coach Mike Houlihan, again, a champion of the Little East Conference. Coach, best of luck in the NCAAs and next year. That's Coach Mike Houlihan here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. We'll be back with the wrap-up of the post-game show and a preview of what lays ahead for UMass Boston. Ultimately 25-15, and now 2 in a row for Matthew in the end. 4 straight for she from the service area. Dug out by Bunker. Wilson near side. Lamica, and she's blocked in front. The Beacons trees of Cassingal. Elliott and Kianko keep it alive for she, and unable to handle the howitzer cat. Service dug out by Kianko. Maslak for Amelia, but Shepieska gets it drilled right back. It over. Dug out by Bunker. Lamica delivers, and that's what she's known. Good serve, dug out by Bunker. Wilson, near side for Matthew. Great play. Great play for Olivia Matthews. She gets the kill to capture the championship with 1 more point. Eileen Shee, who began this match from the service area, will look to end it. Eileen gets it over. Matthew, tough play. Wilson, Lamica gets it over. Eileen for Maslak. And this one is over! Cue the duck boats! The championship trophy is home in Beaconville again! For the 8th time in the last 9 years, the UMass Boston winning 3-0. They are on their way to the NCAA tournament. Let's take a look at the final stats for this one. As you see there, the Beacons 15-15 overall. Keene State actually won their first 15 games of the season. However, they will not be dancing in 2017. You look there, Beacons 30 kills, just 19 for the Owls. The hitting percentage, well, pretty solid for the Beacons, not so much. -11 for Keene State. And in assists, digs, blocks, and aces, all dominated by UMass Boston as they sweep 3-0. Let's look at the team leaders. You look at Shepieska leading the way with 8 kills. That's a statistic that normally Eileen Shee leads, but what a performance by Shepieska. Eileen did lead in aces. Meanwhile, Olivia Matthew, you see 7 kills. She was outstanding for the Keene State Owls. And our most outstanding player, Macayla Kiyanko, 20 digs here in the 2017 LEC Tournament Championship game. So the Beacons are on their way to the NCAA Tournament yet again for the 8th time in the last 9 years. And we are so happy to have brought you this 3-0 victory here on the BBN. I'd like to thank Steve Witkowski, who just made an appearance on your screen. If you have small children, I would hide them. Let's thank the production team who helped this production go through swimmingly. Our producers, Seth Orensky. Our directors, Anthony Searles, Alex Carasotto. On replay, Sal Frascino. Our camera operators, Brian Kaufman, Taylor Billiak, and Mike Mulligan. For everyone involved and for you at home, the UMass Boston Beacons are dancing. They're on their way to the NCAA tournament for the 8th time in the last 9 years as they beat the Keene State Owls 3-0. Good night, good luck, and good volleyball. We'll see you right here on the Beacons broadcast.